Hello everybody on YouTube, it's Xaldin here, the Magician Master 100, known as the Master of all Spellcasters, here to do a deck profile, and here's my bro doing the deck profile.
Hi.
So, what deck do you have for us for today?
I decided to do a deck profile I haven't done quite some time, and that is my Narukami Eradicator Saber reverse deck profile.
And I noticed you're doing it on your Fluttershy playmat.
Yeah, because Fluttershy is best pony.
No? Yeah, damn it. Twilight is best pony.
We'll argue about this another day.
So, can you show us the deck?
Yeah, sure. I'll explain here by here what I'm doing with the deck right here. Before I get the deck profile, for those who do not know, the goal and objective of this deck right here is to utilize the ability of Saber Dragon. Use his ability to just annihilate your opponent's board, and then but when you get rolling with his ability, your opponent will barely have any resources, and you just knock your opponent for days. And yeah.
All right then.
All right. So start off with the starting Vanguard. We have one Lunch You, your ideal starting Vanguard, the deck right here. He's obviously your Forerunner, so with Forerunner, so right in Narukami tap him, goes into your circle, all that such. For those who do not know what he does, he has the ability of, when he boosts a rear guard, and if the attack is a hit, you can counterblast one card, put him in Soul your Vanguard, and if you do so, you can retire one grade 1 or less rear guard right here. Now, it's not the best ability right here, but it's definitely a very big, huge step up compared to other Forerunners we've had in the past, called Shashin a little bit. Shashin back then, Shashin can only kill grade 0s, and that's it. While this guy can kill either grade 0s, or the starting Vanguards as well, or those annoying grade 1s that you don't want to deal with, like those special boosters. Say your opponent drops a certain grade 1 that annoys the living hell out of you. This guy is pretty much your answer to most things of such. So he's definitely helps you with such.
Okay.
And at your starting Vanguard for the trigger lineup, we have the 4 heals. I don't think I really need to explain what heals are important for.
Yeah. Should be self-explanatory. Right. Hey, can you tell me what the heal triggers are for?
I don't think they can heal your damage as long as you have more than or equal damage as your opponent.
Oh, okay then.
Okay. Now for trigger lineup, a lot of people normally do, when it comes to Eradicators or Narukamis in general, most people normally like to do the 8 critical and 4 draw lineup. Normally when I played Vanguard in most decks, the only 2 decks I ever do that is when I play Narukami the Blood or Armor Break Dragon or Narukamis. As for everything else, I normally play the 6 critical and 6 draw lineup right here. Now, I play this lineup over the other lineup we were talking about earlier is because of this. Now, this 6 critical still gives you the huge amount of power that you want over your opponent. Like, normally when I play Vanguard, especially my dragon-based decks, I normally like to be as aggressive, as powerful, and be able to inflict as much damage to my opponent as possible. But at the same time, I still want to be on the defensives and be able to draw into my other resources when I possibly can. Like, if I were to do 8 critical and 4 draw, normally I would not get the best of luck and draw into the stuff that I really need. Even when I play cards like Rising Phoenix, like even great cards like him, I don't always get the best of luck drawing my stuff unless I play this trigger lineup right here. So by playing 6/6, I put myself in equal balance. I still draw into what I want to draw into, but yet still I can still be aggressive and inflict as much damage as I possibly want. So that's what I'm doing 6/6 right here. If you want to do 8 critical, 4 draw, whatever, that's fine. But 6/6 works out just fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, here. So that there was a trigger lineup. For the grade 1 lineup, we have the 4 perfect guards, because they're your perfect guards.
Yep, perfect guard.
Now, here's where things get a little bit odd right here. I play 3 copies of Ollie. Now, please forgive me if I get the name wrong. Now, what Ollie does is, for those who don't know, his ability is when you ride a grade 3 Eradicator on your rear guard circle, you can put him into Soul your Vanguard. When you do, I believe he retires a front row guy. You choose one of your opponents. No, it's actually your choice. Awesome. His ability is when you use his ability, you can choose one rear guard of your opponent's front row to be retired right here. So he definitely helps you out a little bit. If there's like a special 2K attacker like Silent Tom, for example, he helps you get rid of those. And also he combos off with Violent Sword Dragon and Violent Saber Dragon, which I'll get to a little bit. So say he's your rear guard and your Saber Dragon, Sword Dragon is your Vanguard or whatever such, and you're doing your right phase, You just ride. His cross ride ability, his break ride ability will kill a front row guy, and his ability put him to soul, and he'll kill a front row guy ability. So pretty much kill two birds with one shot in a way. So he definitely allows me to just kill off some huge options and allow me to attack my opponent a lot more safer and clearer. Next we play 3 copies of the Steel-Blooded Eradicator. Now what he does is, all he does is gain 3,000 power till the end of turn, pardon me, whenever a rear guard is retired by the effect of a Eradicator card. Now, only 3 instead of 4 because I don't want to dead draw into him when there's other cards I want to draw into. But for what it's worth, since following Saber Dragon allows me to kill a lot of rear guards, as long as I do not lock him, he can become a great huge booster to whoever he's boosting. So, increasing my odds to land that huge attack or forcing my opponent to waste that perfect guard just block off that attack. Like, especially if he's boosting up my following Saber Dragon, especially when I'm done pulling off the combo that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, it just gets in there pretty well. Next, we only play 2 copies of Demolition Dragon. All he is just a special 3k attacker when grade 1 attacker. Nothing really too special here. Like, he's just there for whenever you need him, just an extra 7k booster or less such. And also he's also a great ideal vanguard you want to ride into instead of wasting into another grade 1 that you rather not lose. So for what he's worth, Demolition Dragon is still pretty good. But when you do attack with him, as long as you get the right booster, he can actually kill off a grade 2 rear guard. So that's actually pretty impressive, and that helps you take care of some interesting options. So he's definitely not bad. And then finally, to end off the entire grade 1 lineup, the only non-Eradicator I'm playing is 2 copies of Rising Phoenix. Now, Rising Phoenix is definitely very good because Eradicators normally don't need nothing in the soul other than for cross-break writings and such. So Rising Phoenix definitely helps you out. Get rid of the 2 cards in your soul so you can draw 1. And also, another thing that's also good about him is that now and then you will soul charge. So Rising Phoenix does actually become pretty useful. Like, the only thing I don't like about Rising Phoenix is the fact that he's not Eradicator. And in order to be able to use Following Sabers of Dragon's ability, you have to lock your rear guards who have to be Eradicators. So a Rising Phoenix that can't be locked does actually kind of suck a little bit. But for all in all, he's still pretty good. And if he's useless, worst case scenario, just use him as your grade 1 Vanguard, and save your other stuff. And that's for the grade 1s. For the grade 2s, we have 4 copies of Spark Rain Dragon. Just your typical special 12k attacker, grade 2 guys. Nothing really too much to explain. And next I play 3 copies of Homing Eradicator Roshin. Now, this guy is pretty much your Following Saber Dragon's partner in crime fighting all that such. Like, this guy is ridiculous. His ability is, as long as he's your rear guard, and a card, as long as your vanguard has the word Eradicator's name, while your opponent's rear guard should be retired by your card effects, this guy gains 5,000 power until end of turn. So when you go off with Following Saber Dragon crazily, after riding him on top of Following Sword Dragon, and then using Following Saber Dragon's ability to lock 4 of your other rear guards and leave him alone, this guy will become a 33 beater backing up your powerhouse, powerful Following Saber Dragon. So this guy becomes very strong, very beefy, and he just allows you to just become an aggressive powerhouse beast that you don't want to deal with. So 3 of these guys are pretty good. And then everything else is just 2 copies. Then everything else is just basic Eradicator stuff you normally see in basic decks. And that is 2 copies of Chowho and 2 copies of Set 2. Just your special, when attack is hit, you put a card face down, damage face up, and you Soul Blast, Soul Charge a card, and his ability is Soul Charge a Eradicator from your board to pop a front row rear guard of your opponent's control. Just basic Eradicator stuff right here. And this is pretty good for Rising Phoenix, as we were talking about earlier, because every time his attack is a hit, you Soul Charge a card, so he definitely helps you out with what you're trying to do with Rising Phoenix. So this guy definitely helps you out with certain things here and there. Plus, more importantly, he puts your cards face down from damage face up, so you can be more likely to be doing some more counter blasts and such. Alright, and that right there was the grade 2 lineup. Now for the grade 3 lineup. Now, Originally, I was thinking about maxing out both Following Sword Dragon and Following Saber Dragon, but I figured for smart reasons and for personal reasons, I think this guy will definitely come in handy. And it has 2 copies of my personal favorite Eradicator, 2 copies of Eradicator Descendant. Descendant is definitely in the deck is definitely good in the deck because not only he's my favorite card, but he definitely helps out what the deck does. For those who don't know what he does, he has Limit Break 4 and counterblast 1 card and pick 3 copies of 3 Eradicators from hand and drop zone. When his attack is not a hit, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand his unit right back up and he gets 1 critical. You cannot use the ability again for the rest of the turn. Also, you counterblast 2 Eradicators. This guy gains 5,000 power till end of turn. Now, this guy in case if you don't win with Following Saber Dragon, Dragon Descendant pretty much almost, not always, but almost guarantees you the game the turn after you ride into him. Now, like I said, you're not always gonna win with Following Saber Dragon or Descendant or whatever such, but by riding this guy on top of your Following Saber Dragon, after your Following Saber Dragon does not win you the game, puts your opponent into a huge aspect right here. Like, after Following Saber Dragon kills off all your opponent's rear guards, you'll have this guy ready to back you up, and with very minimum resources, and plus putting your opponent in a difficult situation where they're a little bit confused if they want to block out the attack or not, definitely put your opponent into a huge difficult situation, and you just pretty much put them in a situation where they have to be forced to let the attack go through. And if your drop check reveals a critical, you might as well offer your opponent a handshake because you just won a game right there. And next for the Great Threes, we have pretty much the second best card of the entire deck, and that is 3 copies of Following Sword Dragon. Now, I know we just got a new card called Eradicator Ignition Dragon, but keep in mind this deck is all about using this guy right here. So Following Sword Dragon is pretty much a better choice of card than the Ignition Dragon when you're playing a deck like this. Like, if this was not all about using Eradicator Saber Dragon Reverse, then I would definitely be using the Ignition Dragon. But this is a deck that involves using him, so we kind of do need this guy right here. Now, for those who do not remember, he has Limit Break 4. When a Narukami rides up with this unit, that unit gets plus 10,000 power, and that you can retire 1 front row unit on the opponent's board right there. So it definitely kills off more rear guards, and if you break ride him on top of another him, or Descendant on top of him, a Descendant with 21 power, or another Following Sword Dragon with 21 power, those actually do pretty good. So even if you don't cross break ride, it's not the end of the world. As long as you got one of these 2 guys with 21 power, you should be doing just fine and such. But when you do cross break ride into this guy, oh my god, then you're gonna see some huge amount of rear guards just taking out all day long. And of course, your idea key card of the entire deck is of course the 3 copies of Eradicator Following Saber Dragon. Now, for Saber Dragon, what Saber Dragon does is he has Limit Break 4, counterblast 2 cards, and lock 2 rear guards with the word Eradicator. For those who do not know what lock is say this he's a vanguard and he's a rear guard right here. Lock is where you turn a rear guard that's face up and turn it face down. When a unit is locked, that unit cannot be unlocked until the next turn. And while during the time that unit is locked, unless there's another card that says so otherwise, that card cannot switch positions, that card cannot attack, this card cannot use abilities, nothing. Unless there's another card effect that says so otherwise, or this card can say it does something, just regardless of what is locked as such, once a card has been locked because of a specific card effect, it cannot not do anything. So you have to be very cautious when you do your lock abilities. So, anyways, Limit Break 4, counterblast 2 cards, and lock 2 Eradicator rear guards. Your opponent chooses 2 rear guards of his or her choice to be retired. When you have Following Sword Dragon and the soul of your vanguard, he gets 2,000 power. So yeah. So what the goal, objective of this guy is you don't always have to go balls out crazy like I sometimes do now with Eradicators. You can just lock only 2 rear guards and you should be just fine right there. When you lock up, the goal of the deck is lock out your opponent's, retire as much of your opponent's rear guards as possible. So if you don't go balls out and crazy and lock out everything, as long as your opponent retires only the back row units, you can always have your rear guards take care of the last remaining rear guards, and then you can always just go for a game right there by attacking right there. So the goal is to retire as much rear guards as you possibly can, and also make this guy and certain other rear guards as strong as possible, so when you go out for attack, you either have game right there, or you'll force your opponent to use up so many options and waste so many resources, where about the time you're done attacking, next turn, you just ride descend on top of him, and you pretty much have game right there. So Bowing Saber Dragon is kind of an underestimated deck now and then, but in the hands of the right player, it can definitely do some crazy good things, especially considering the fact that not too long ago, Bowing Sword Dragon reversed Narukami's a couple months ago, maybe even longer, top 8 at National not too long ago. So this shows how good a deck like this can do. So Eradicator Reverse is a deck you don't want to mess with.
Alright then, so that's the video, and it's been a very long deck profile for my channel. So, you got anything to say to the haters, or anything?
Haters gonna hate. I laugh because you skate. This is not my fate.
Okay, no PewDiePie reference.
Oh, come on! Anyways, for those who like Vanguard Dragons or Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragons, I have a channel of my own called Christian Dragoon. Check me out in the link in the description down below. For those who like Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragons, Vanguard Dragons, I'll do a lot of cool dragon stuff, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video and like my channel and such.
Yeah, and so, yeah, subscribe to his channel, and of course, he's at around 800!
Yay!
Yeah, so, check out his channel, subscribe, and, yeah, check out our channel that we share, Trading Card Bros.